I know it's her husband's birthday today.
Oh, okay. So welcome to the team call, everyone. I did not hit record. So now we are officially starting. I'm Joy Bowen, and this is the Team Rising Phoenix weekly call. And we are doing shout outs. Like you can celebrate anyone on the team for anything. Michelle, say what you said it again so that she can hear it on recording.
Can I do two?
Yeah.
Okay. Robin Coster for her consistency and her inspiration. She is always on her social media every day, and she's an inspiration, and she is just out there sharing and loving on people. And then also Delise, I want to shout her out because we've been on this path, kind of running side by side at different paces at different times, but she is always an inspiration and always just one step ahead, thinking of the same things that I'm thinking, but much more vocal about asking the questions, or like I said, being that step ahead. So shout out to both of them.
Yay! Love it.
Thank you.
All the love. Can you feel the love tonight? All right. I think Andrea wanted to say something.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I wanted to celebrate Heidi this week.
Oh, no.
Well, hello.
Was that you? Sorry.
Because she definitely had a lot of vulnerability this week, and that's something that I personally struggle with showing. In my journey, that was kind of like a aha moment, like watching her, I was like, oh my God, yes, I totally get it. I totally get you. So, that's difficult to do, and she did it anyway, and I think that's awesome.
I love it. Love it, love it. Angela, hi. Anybody else want to do a shout out to anyone on the team?
Sorry, I wasn't really prepared.
No, I was going to say, I think you need to give us some updates so we have time to think about it.
Well, I will do a shout out. I know when I say this, Tanya's going to be like, yes, no, I wanted to. I want to shout out Brenda. She did her I'm a Coach post last night, and it rocked. She got so much positive feedback. It was crazy. Like, people just, you could almost hear like the standing ovation happening on social media for her. So really,
yes, she's on her way home. She said she would call it. She would log in as soon as she got home, but she's on her way.
Yay! I love that. So very awesome. So well done. And then, I have another shout out. Angela. Now, she was recognized as an Emerald Coach this past week because she landed it on Thursday. She will officially be promoted as an Emerald Coach this coming Thursday. And this girl, let me just tell you, Angela, you inspire the crap out of me. She, not only is she like going all in the phase 1 leadership group, but you guys, like when she gets a nugget of wisdom from something, she's sharing it in our new coach little message thread. You're very generous to like highlight things for people. And that is so very, very valuable for the busy lives that we all have. So thank you for taking that initiative to like say, hey guys, like this is really helpful. I think like that just warms my heart. I'm like, oh, yay. Someone else is taking initiative. I love it. So I'm very proud of you. Very good job.
Thank you.
Anybody else? So quiet. Well, then we are going to move on, and I feel a little bad that you're driving, sister, but I had asked Andrea to share her story because this is just something that we're going to do every week. Is I'm going to popcorn around and choose different people to share their story. One, because you guys need to practice sharing your story in 5 minutes or less. But two, like, y'all need to get to know each other. And I know your stories, but not everyone else does. So, Andrea, you want to take it away?
Yes. Okay. 5 minutes or less. So, my Beachbody story. So, I used to be an avid marathon runner and had to actually quit marathoning because my doctors prescribed me yoga. I went kicking and screaming because that's not what I loved. So, I found yoga. Through yoga, I definitely found a lot of self-study and a lot of just internal movement that needed to happen for me. Then I dove into becoming a yoga teacher, which I am the kind of person when I do something, I kind of just do it. And through yoga, I became more active on Instagram, trying to really get a following because I knew that I wanted to help people do something that was overall wellness. A lot of people are scared of yoga, so I was like, I need something else. I need something else. And lo and behold, Joy Bowen was a creeper on Instagram, and she just began messaging me, and I was like, who is this crazy lady? I peeped on her Instagram and was like, why is she so happy? So we were kind of going back and forth. I was like, no, I'm not coaching. Like, this is multi-level marketing. No thanks, I'm not interested. But she just kept on loving on me, and really, I started to follow her and her journey and what was going on in her life. Happy to do yoga, and it's helping people. And
We just lost you, sister. It's like every other sound. Are you there?
oh, I'm gonna back up. I'm at my house.
Okay.
It's a black hole.
I think you resurfaced from the black hole.
Ah.
I can hear you
Is
now.
that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, yeah, literally my house is a black hole. I'll walk down the street. A discount because every teacher likes a discount. And then I just really saw the value in helping people. I was helping myself. And I was like, dang, like if I'm feeling good, then I wasn't like ever going to try to build the business. I just wanted to disseminate information and give wellness to people because we don't have it holistically. And then I kept saying, well, dang, if I'm helping me help people, I have a whole bunch of other people that can help people. So for me, it's been a great transformation from teacher to yoga teacher to wellness teacher, incorporating all of my life and still getting a discount. So that's me.
So Heidi asked a question. What does she just keeps loving on me journey look like? Heidi, do you want to clarify that?
I do. So when I first told Joy like a big resounding no, not happening, she stayed in my DM. I'm talking, she was creeper. She's a creeper. Not really. I loved it. She would post on my Instagram. She was like following my journey. I specifically remember I was in New Orleans, which is my favorite place in the whole world. And she was following my stories. She was commenting on my shoes. She was saying that I was fun. Like, it was so building up on the inside from a female that doesn't really happen all the time. So she just kept positive reinforcement. I'm a behaviorist by trade, positively reinforcing what I was already doing in a loving, authentic way. So she kept the feelers out. I was like, yeah, I don't know what this looks like. Let me add you for a couple days so you can snoop. What questions do you have? I'm here to help you. So she really like held my little baby hand and was like, okay, use a shake, mix. And I was like, this shit tastes awful. She's like, no, use blender. Blend on high. Like, it was caveman for me, but she kept pouring into me even when I was like spazzy, total spaz mode. So kept in my DMs, kept following up because I never really was like a hard no. I'd have an excuse and she'd be like, but you're already doing this, so why don't we just up your game? So she just kept on. But I love you for it.
I just loved your energy, and I was like, I want her on my team. Any other questions, y'all? That was awesome, Andrea. Even with the black hole abyss of the internet. We're going to talk a lot about the inviting process and how to fall in love with that. And I think Andrea's story is such a great setup for what we have to talk about tonight because I hear a big echo, babe. Can you turn your volume down? It's like so distracting. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you. I'm like, it's like if you're in a big stadium, because he's in the front room, and you hear like your echo, echo, echo. I'm like, oh, cannot concentrate one bit. Anyway, squirrel moment there. Andrea's story is a great setup for what we're about to talk about, because I think that we think the invite is just, you know, that moment where we say, hey, you want to join my group, or hey, you want to be on my team. And that is like just the beginning. That's not like the whole package. That is just the beginning of you getting to be like taking your friendship or your relationship to another level. I keep thinking, like, what's the common denominator of successful coaches on our team? You know, who's attracted to joining Rising Phoenix, right? And I have to say, if I were to survey all of you guys, like, I'm just going to look here on the pictures, I would have to say it's skepticism. I mean, really, I think we all were like a no way Jose kind of person. Yeah, y'all are nodding, right? Or like if we got started, it was like very kind of like, I don't know about this, or y'all, I said no for 7 years. So like, it's no surprise to me that I attract skeptics or people who, you know, just need a little marinating. They need to, like, I have to build them up a little bit and earn that know, like, and trust for y'all to take a next step, right? And here's what I know. If I'm attracting people who are skeptical and kind of like, you know, resisting, they have a high level of resistance. I had a huge level of resistance. Y'all, I called Beachbody myself after getting my first Success Club trip, and I was like, take it back. I didn't buy this product. And like they said, girlfriend, that's a prize. Like, that's a gift because you helped people. And I was like, I feel so bad because like I literally thought they were charging me for things I didn't order. That's how much resistance I had to this whole process. So if I have like the mega resistance and maybe you have a fraction of that in your soul, let's be honest, how many of you felt a little fraction of resistance when you got started in this whole process? A little bit. Well, then I hate to break it to you, you're going to attract people who also have resistance. So why are we surprised when we, you know, attract people who are skeptical? Why does that take us by surprise? Why does it take us by surprise when they don't start right away? That's who we are. Like that's all of us, right? But my story, and I think for a lot of people on our team, I started as a customer. Yes, I had 3 people who wanted to jump in right away, but you have to remember my story. I enrolled as a customer. I had zero intention of being a coach. And when I had 3 people who decided they wanted to join the PIO Challenge group with me, I brought them to Stephanie and I was like, hey, here's your referrals. And she's like, you could keep the money if you just, you know, sign up as a preferred customer. She didn't call it a coach. She tricked me. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, poor little MLMer. Like, I don't want to take her money away from her. And, you know, she probably really needs the commission. Like, I felt good that I was giving her a gift, right? Because I had no clue. And for those of you, insert income disclaimer, because I'm about to throw a bomb here. There is no guarantee of any level of income in the Beachbody opportunity. It's based on your efforts, diligence, and skill. You can check our back office for the statement of coach earnings. Blah, blah, blah. She's a 7-figure annually earner. She didn't need the $150 commission. But so I went to go enroll as a preferred customer. It said coach. And I immediately text her. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? I don't want to be a coach. My resistance was super, super high. So I want to talk tonight a little bit about how to fall in love with the invite process, knowing that you might have like a seed of that same resistance, that same skepticism, and maybe you're attracting the same kind of person that I am, one that's going to just need a little extra TLC. So how about we let me share my screen here, because otherwise I will just ramble. I might have to ask Andrew to come get Obi. All right. What? Yeah. Okay, so I love this picture. It's horrid. It's absolute. I mean, like, seriously.
Y'all, this is my favorite picture of all time. The story behind this is so awesome.
Oh my gosh. I promise you there's a reason for this picture. But like, my question before we dive into, obviously there's some things we need to talk about before we talk about falling in love with the process. Or is the chat blowing up with the process? Hungry like a wolf. Yeah. It's
Using the restroom, right?
It's horrible. Let's just suffice it to say, when I start, I'll tell you a story behind this picture. We did a rebranding last year, and we had the gal who did our website, in an effort to save money, she offered to take photos of us, and she's a very creative person, super talented. But that, let's just say there were some shots that came out like this. They were not awesome. They were very embarrassing. But you know what? Here's what I love about this photo is that I think it really kind of summarizes what happens to us when we're first a coach. When I started as a coach, I kind of had in my mind this ideal person of who I needed to be. I needed to be someone who was into fitness. I needed to, kind of look like a fitness instructor, even though I wasn't. You will see that there's like a lot of photos from back in the day of like me. Like my first headshots were all in fitness clothing, which there's nothing wrong with that. But like in my head, I thought I had to be a certain person. I thought I had to like look the part. And
she thought she had to be a bad model from an 80s hairband video.
And I will tell you that in that season of life and throughout the whole last 5 years, it has been a process of discovering, not, where to find my food in a jungle, but it's been a process of discovering like who the heck I really am and really being very comfortable in my skin. 5 years ago, I couldn't show you this picture because I wasn't confident enough to really feel humiliated and be okay with it. Like I would have hit it and Andrew probably would have shared it and it would have caused a big blow up. But now it's like, oh my gosh, like I can totally laugh at myself. I'm comfortable with who I am in my skin. You have freedom to be 100% you. It doesn't matter whether you are just getting started. Maybe you hate fitness and you're a coach. That's okay. You belong here. Maybe you are a fitness professional. That's awesome. You have a wealth of knowledge to gift to the world. But the biggest gift that we all have is the freedom to be 100% us. And you shouldn't try to be anything else but that. And so I want you guys to learn how to fall in love with the process, not necessarily with what the process can produce. I'm going to say that again. The key to longevity in this business, the key to falling in love with anything that you find hard, is to learn to fall in love with the process, not necessarily what the process can produce. If you are focused on simply like, I'm going to invite someone because I have this, like I want to earn 6 figures or whatever, you're going to quickly burn out. Because you're not falling in love with the process of becoming the person that you were designed to be. You're so like focused on the end goal. And I got to tell you, once you reach that goal, like we celebrate for 24 hours, but then guess what? We reset the goal. So like if you don't fall in love with the process, then the next goal is going to feel not fun, right? Because you're like, oh, I got to go back and do the things that I don't enjoy doing. But if you fall in love with the process of becoming the person that you have been designed to be, then every single goal that you set in this business is going to be exciting and joy-filled, because you know that every action, every activity that you have to take, hi Obi, Andrew, come get the ball and hide it. Every little step along the way is refining your character to become the leader that God created you to be. And the other thing that's really important about just embracing 100% who you are, I want you to really think about this. Like, is your story represented? Oh, thank God. Here, take the ball, hide it away. Is your story represented? You are not going to have, most likely, we have a few breast cancer survivors on our team, which is awesome, but you probably aren't going to have my breast cancer story. You aren't going to have a husband, hopefully, I pray you never do, who was, care flighted and put into ICU, or a son who had papilledema, or another son who wrestled with depression. Like, you're not going to have our story. So for you to think that you have to have something like our story really sets you up for failure, because you're thinking that your story isn't good enough. But not everyone is going to relate to my story. If you don't see your story represented, then like who around you, like there are people around you that you are meant to have influence over, that you are meant to lead, that will never resonate with my story, but they'll resonate with you. They'll resonate with being, a full-time teacher with kids in college, and, having to like give up your I'm going through Tanya's story, having to give up your trainer and like wrestling, with like that whole transition of empty nester and all that stuff. So there are people who are going to resonate with your story, and you need to know that it's enough. You don't have to have like a back against the wall story in order to inspire people. You don't have to have a near-death story, thank God, to inspire people. You are completely enough. And that's really important, because I had a game changer moment, and it was at Summit, my very first Summit. I know I'm such a snarky butt, but if you haven't been to Summit, like, please make plans to be there. We're going to be in New Orleans this next year. But I was sitting in our first Summit with some of the members of our team in what I call the nosebleed seats. And some of you who have been on this team for a while have heard this story before, but they did the 5-star recognition. And this is a recognition where people like walk across the stage, and they're announcing names, and they're walking across the stage. And y'all, I swear to you, I don't know if this woman was just having a bad day, or if like what I saw was really legit. But in my mind, I was like, I really think that's a grandma and a muumuu walking across the stage as a 5-star diamond. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. And that's the power of these events, really, is that you cannot deny when people are standing up all around you, you cannot deny that if that person can do it, of course you can. Of course you can. If a grandparent can stand up as a diamond coach, so can you. If a grandma and a muumuu can walk across the stage as a 5-star diamond, so can you. You have to raise your level of belief that you are enough and that you are worthy of success before you ever fall in love with any part of the process of what we do. And so that summit really set me free in a lot of ways. Like, I could be authentically me. I released the expectation of trying to look like a fitness trainer. And I just kind of allowed myself to evolve into who I am, which is really, 3 parts goofy and the other part is just a mess. So, Andrew and I have been on this process of just allowing ourselves to authentically show up. And that's what I want to encourage you guys most of all today, is to authentically just show up and know that you are enough. So after Summit, that game changer of an event, I had to get to work, obviously, because I was like, I'm going to show up next Summit as a 5-star diamond. And you know what? I did. I had no idea how it was going to happen, but I just knew that if that person could walk across the stage as a 5-star diamond, so could I. And I had to get home and I had to get to work. And, it hasn't been until just recently that I realized, I think one of the key ingredients to why I was able to pull it off in a year and walk across that stage I think it was there as a 6-star diamond the next year, is that I have gone through a lot of personal development. What you guys probably don't know, Andrew and I were involved in a network marketing opportunity in our young 20s. And while we sucked at it, because we weren't successful at all, which is why I was super skeptical about this opportunity, we did consume a lot of personal development during that time. In fact, at the end of it all, when we finally quit, we were like, you know what? At the end of the day, I feel like I kind of got an MBA from all of the personal development that we've done. And so, you know, being in this phase 1 leadership group, it just kind of dawns on me, like some of these concepts that I have taken for granted for years, like is fresh knowledge to so many people on our team. And what we need to really just like remind ourselves is that at the end of the day, this business is a personal development program with a compensation plan. And so your success or failure will depend on how much you embrace this part of what we do. If you sacrifice, you know, and, you know, we're just reading The Slight Edge, and he says, you know, these little daily habits are easy to do. They're also easy not to do. Yesterday, it was Sunday. I led worship. I got up early to be at church for rehearsal. We give everything, all of our energy, 110%. And so when I get home, I'm like a wrung out washcloth. No energy. I am beat because I've given away everything I have leading worship. Y'all, I didn't do my workout before I left for church. I didn't do my reading before I left for church. So that little thing, like, it's easy to do these little steps and it's easy not to do them, kept playing over in my head again yesterday. And yes, I did do my workout, and I was reading the chapter for the day at 11 o'clock at night when I was so stinking tired. But I know that these little habits will make or break the journey for us no matter what. So wherever you are in the journey, if you're a brand new coach, I just want you to know that your investment in your mindset is probably the single most important determining factor of your future success, because you have got to rewire a couple of things. We've got to learn a few things. So here's what I want you guys to realize when it comes to inviting. Impact equals income. If you are focused on helping people just meet them where they're at and blessing them authentically, the income's going to come. So my question to you is, are you setting impact goals instead of income goals? I mean, income goals are great. The thing about impact goals is that if you focus on making impact in people's lives, the income is going to come, right? It's like yesterday, Tanya did a meal prep group, right? And like, she didn't know what to do. Like, you did that all by yourself, right? Like, just kind of winged it. Like,
Yep. We went to pick some videos or pick some meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? They like provided a huge, huge value to the people who were there, who got to like touch and feel and prep and see that this is possible. And oh, that's so much more food than I thought I would eat. And I thought I was going to be like eating like a bird, and this is a whole big plate of food. And out of that, there's going to be like a bunch of people signing up. five people enrolling because she did a meal prep group at her house. But she was focused on having impact. I don't think she was necessarily focused on how much income would be produced out of that event. And I think that's where, I'm not saying you guys have to all throw house parties. I'm just saying we have to reframe our thinking. I knew from the very beginning at this business, if I helped enough people, the income would happen. And that is exactly what has been our story. Okay, so I know everyone wants to know how to attract the people who want to do this with you. Yes? How to attract people. Okay, well, I want to talk to you tonight. First of all, and this thing is just like jumping all over the screen. It's really important that you authentically understand that you are enough, right? Because when you show up on social media, you have to just be you, okay? Now, when you are doing your stories, now, first of all, most of you guys, if your warm market is on Facebook, you should be using Facebook stories. In fact, I want you to all take your phone right now, and I want you to open Facebook, And I want you to go to your profile, okay? Like, you see, like there's my profile. Okay? Then you'll see it says add story. There's a little gear. And then there are these 3 dots. See those 3 dots? Click on the 3 dots. See that little option that says story archive? Pull that bad boy up. If you've been doing any stories anytime, then you should have a grid of stories. If you then click on any story, okay? See that little number down at the bottom of people who've watched your story? Touch it. Touch the 20. Ha-ha! Touch it. Yep, those are all the people who've been watching your story. Sure would be good to reach out to them, wouldn't it?
Okay, so but if you say reach out, how? Because some of these people I haven't seen or talked to in a long time.
I know. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
You cannot connect your stories. I mean, you can connect your stories if you have a business page. Business pages are a whole nother separate beast of crazy that I don't recommend anyone focus on. The reason why you occasionally see us with our Facebook page is because we have invested a lot of money and time over the last 5 years building an audience there. But I will tell you, our engagement on our business page sucks. So you can connect your stories from IG to like your personal Facebook, Heidi? Hello?
I'm looking at it right now.
You can, as long as it's not, it has to go business to business or personal to personal. So if you
Oh,
put a
that's
business
why.
IG,
Yeah.
it's that way.
So like your personal Instagram can go to your personal Facebook. It's in settings, and then you let me think, account. Yeah, linked account, and then it'll say you can't see that. No, it'll show
Is that for
Facebook.
your stories or for just your posts?
It's for both. So like when I go on here, it says it right there at the bottom that it has automatically linked, you can't see that, to Facebook.
So,
Or I can even say, mine says already shared to Facebook story, but mine automatically go.
the stories. So what Andrew
Mhm.
said is that it has to be business to business or personal to personal. And my Instagram is a business one because I can run ads, I can see insights. So
Okay.
if it's a personal Instagram, then I guess you can tether it to your personal Facebook. But because mine's business, it's a business account.
Okay. Well, mine's just a personal page, so I guess that's why you can.
Yeah, totally.
That would be one of the pluses, I guess.
Yeah. I don't recommend, sharing your Instagram feed photos automatically to Facebook. I would re-upload them. But if you have a personal Instagram and you want to tether your stories to Facebook, and I would, gauge your engagement and see if that works for you. But I know engagement kind of feels like it goes down when you tether your Instagram photos straight to your Facebook wall photos. So let's talk Instagram stories for just a second. Guys, when you share on Instagram stories, a lot of what you're sharing is stuff that you're going to be doing anyway. I want you guys to, make sure that you're sharing consistently about one of the products that we offer that you love. So you'll see Instagram. Obviously, we've been doing the MM100 dance challenge stuff with our Energize. But you'll notice that when we share Energize, we don't like product place Energize. You don't see the name. We don't call it by name. You just see this really bright yellow stuff that's in our hands all the time. And that's called curiosity marketing, right? Like you don't, even if I show the tub of Energize, I'm going to turn it in such a way that hides the name of it because I want people DMing me and asking me about like, what is that stuff? Because that starts a conversation so that then I can invite them to jump into our group. Yesterday, Liesel DM'd me and she's like, where'd you get your eyelashes? But you want those kind of conversations happening when you share stuff in your stories. So, when you do talk about what we do as far as fitness or products, just make sure that you're doing it in a way that generates curiosity, that doesn't just give them the name that they can go Google and then go buy from Amazon or somewhere else. You want them connecting with you. So every day you should be like modeling, or not modeling. That sounds like way too much stress. You should be holding, or like, you'll notice in that picture, it's just off to the side. It's not like I'm going, ooh, energize. You just want to make sure that you're consistently like trying to feature some kind of product or talk about like an ingredient in one of our products. You have 70 superfoods that you could highlight in Shakeology. You could add value to people by talking about it. A lot of people have no idea what maca root is. They have no idea what maca root can do for their life. But you can educate them, and that's called adding value. That builds trust. That builds that know, like, and trust factor. A workout clip, you guys, you're going to be doing your workouts anyway. So, make sure every day that you're showing your workout in a workout clip, because that consistency is contagious. People crave consistency in their own life. So you want to be modeling that for other people. And then like the third thing that you should be sharing every day is something that adds value just to the people who are following you. And here's the thing. A great question that you can ask yourself is like, okay, if I'm trying to attract me, because that is your tribe. You're trying to attract other people who are like you, okay? So what fear does your ideal person have? If they were to contact you today and be like, girl, I totally want to crush this business, but the one thing that's holding me back is, what would they say? And you would know the hardest hurdle to get over the workout clips or even a picture. Oh, you can do it. You can totally do it. What would that ideal girl that you're looking for, what would she say is her biggest fear that's holding her back? Every day you can ask that question, because I guarantee there's probably more than one fear. And you can talk about that on social media, or you can add value through something as simple as like a quote graphic, right? Quote graphics are great to just add your humor, show what you value. These three kind of like really kind of get to the core. Yesterday's eyeliner can be today's smoky eye if you believe in yourself. Nutrition fact: if you drink a gallon of water per day, you won't have time for other people's drama because you'll be too busy peeing. And we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. You can find quotes on Pinterest. You can find quotes on Google, and you can just you don't even have to remake them if you don't want to. You can just share the same quote in your story.
Joy,
Yeah.
quick question, and Gabriel interrupted me, so I'm backing up. But on the workout clips, I stall every other day at best, because I don't love my workout clips. Now I'll take a photo, so I'm not sure if, like the one you have right there is just a still photo, but that may just be because we just got a screenshot. Is it okay to just do an action shot, or does it have to be a video?
I really think that video is powerful. I'm not going to say I 100% do video every single day, but I think I do it probably 85-90% of the time I'm sharing a video clip. And
Okay.
here's my process for video clips, okay? I just set the phone up on a tripod and I videotape 15 minutes or whatever, however long. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes of my workout. That's it. I just like one static position. I'm not going all over the house with my phone changing the view angles, okay? I then upload the video. Do you guys use iMovie app yet on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Does
Yes.
everyone have a video on their phone? Okay, open up iMovie. We're gonna do a little tutorial here. Open up iMovie. Then click the plus button, plus. And then you're gonna do new project and you're gonna click movie. Then I picked a 16-minute workout clip that I have. And I'm going to create movie down at the bottom. You'll notice that my video is square. I wish I had like one of those devices that I could like plug in and you can see my screen. If I select the video down here at the bottom, so it's highlighted yellow, you'll see a little magnifying glass up at the top right-hand corner. Everyone see that? Okay, if you hit that little magnifying glass, it says pinch to zoom. So what I do is I pinch it, and now it's the same size as my IG stories. Is everyone tracking?
Hey, Joy, stop sharing your screen so they got a big picture of you just talking.
Stop sharing.
Now, if everyone goes to speaker view, you'll see just her bigger.
Well, not when you're talking. It's still Andrew. I don't know what's going on. All right, so I pinched it, so now it's that way. So now what I do is I select it again at the bottom and see where it says the volume, little volume button. I click that volume button and I take away all the volume to 0. Then this little speed up button here, because I look really bad at normal human speed. Really bad. So I make myself look like a jackrabbit and I speed it all the way up. Everyone looks better sped up. And then I just will cut it down into little clips. So that little scissors, I'll click split. Then I'll get to like the little clip I want and I'll click split again. See how there's a little clip now separated? Now I'm going to delete the long clip. So I'll get like 3 little clips about that long until it's about 15 seconds. Is everyone tracking? Ask questions.
Joy, do you have any suggestions for those of us that don't have an iPhone?
Heidi can teach you a tutorial separately for the Droid.
Thank you, Heidi.
One day you'll come to the dark side.
I just left and went to the good side.
Hey, so I actually use an app called Video Lab, which you might be able to get on an Android. I'm not sure, but you can just try a different app and it works like identical to what Joy's showing us. It's just trial and error at the end of the day.
Yep. So I have like 3 short clips. It's about 15 seconds long. So I click done. Done. And then there's a little export button right there. Save video. That's it. So it's exporting the video. Now you can either upload that directly to Instagram and use their music feature over it. Like you can click music and then pick a song and it'll put music over it. I upload that clip into an app called HypeType and add my own music.
So if you use the IG music, it will not share to Facebook, just as an FYI.
Yeah. But I will show you on HypeType.
It will now. It will now. It used to not to, but it will now.
If you're using, wow, because mine's not doing that. Maybe it's just business accounts I won't do it for.
Yeah, because mine will now.
I'm just iPhones.
Yeah, that's what Casey said. It's just the iPhones. But it will now.
Can't you select the music from iMovie? I mean, I know not that great. Why can't you do that?
Because the stock music is mistaken for royalty music that you have to pay royalty on.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then why is it even there? That seems useless to anybody. Huh.
I cannot explain.
Come on now, explain that.
So Hype Type real quick, because Andrew was like, how do I get my video? So you open Hype Type, and just so you know, Hype Type, whoop, whoop, you swipe up to get your video clip. That's that. It's super easy. So then I can overlay music and then export it, and then I can share it wherever I want to. And you can just upload straight to IG. That was an impromptu little thing on tutorial of how to do a video. What? Any other questions about how to do a video? Good questions. Okay. So you're gonna, every day, you're gonna do something that is centered around one of our products that you are excited about. You're gonna show a workout clip, and you're gonna add value by speaking to the person you're trying to attract. And you being authentically you, like, you're not meant to attract everyone, by the way. It's okay for you to attract, you want to attract the person who is most like you. And then in addition, are you sharing about the business? Because one of the biggest objections people have when you are talking to them is what? I don't know what I would do. I don't know how to do that business. I don't know anything about social media. I don't know anything about fitness. I don't know, right? I don't know, what would I do? So you have to show them that you have resources. You have team. That's why events are so big to go to, because you have an opportunity to show that it's more than just you. So you need to show them your team. You need to show them that you have training. You need to show them that you have books that you read or podcasts that you listen to. Like, you have to show them that you have resources, because, like, at the end of the day, it's not resources that are going to limit our success. It's resourcefulness, right? And what was that?
You know, struggle bus.
So it's not resources that limit us, it's resourcefulness. So you need to make sure that in your stories that you're communicating to that person, like, hey, you can do this business because you will be well resourced. Look at this call I'm on. I mean, we got Monday morning wake up call that you could share. You've got our team calls that you can share. You've got our training events that you can share. And so you want to make sure that you are sharing the business in your stories. Do they know that they can come be a part of your groups? Do they know that they can come be a part of your business? Because at the end of the day, this business is about, these three things are so important. They have to know, like, and trust you to do business with you. Do they know that they can join you? Do they, like, are you sharing life so they get to know all your quirks and get to fall in love with you? Are you sharing your own version of Hungry Like the Wolf? You know, like, moments in your life where they can just kind of fall in love with all the quirky stuff of you, because that's what makes you beautiful. That's where they get to decide if they like you, and you're not meant to be liked by everyone. And if they like you, then it really is just a matter of time. Like, it's up to them on how long they need to follow you. And, or it's up to them to determine how long you need to show up in order for them to trust you. That's not something you can predict. It's not like something you can say, oh, I'm just going to show up for a week, be rock solid, consistent, and then they're going to join my team. Like, Andrea, I had to stalk her in New Orleans and comment on her shoes and genuinely take an interest in her life, you know? So that trust factor just kind of depends on the person. So, okay, so we're sharing ourselves authentically. We're sharing our consistency with a product. We're sharing our consistency with our fitness. We're sharing about, you know, like, something that probably our ideal avatar is wrestling with. We're adding value. We're inviting them through our stories, making sure they know they can be a part of what we're doing. And then we're going to get to, like, how we reach out to them. But I want to just say that you need the know and the ghost people. when you like invite people and they don't respond or they ghost you, you guys are, but you still see them watching your stories, like they're following you. They're following you. Showing up on their feed consistently for a long period of time. Yeah. So it's okay. The no and the ghost people, like they're still a part of your tribe. They're watching you. And by you inviting them, you have now like given them a filter so that when they show up and watch your stories, now their filter is, she believes in me enough that she invited me, or she wants me to be a part of, you know, her group or her tribe or whatever. So like they're watching your stories through a different filter. So you're going to win those no people and the ghost people and the follow-up, right? Andrea initially told me, heck no, I don't want to do anything to do with that, right? But I just kept like, hey, how are you doing? Kept following up. And I won her in the follow-up. And the follow-up wasn't like, hey, you want to join my group? 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 My follow-up was like, looks like your trip was a whole lot of fun. I loved your shoes. I can't believe that yoga pose that you did. Like, I could never do that in a million years. Like, that's so amazing to me. Like, that's the win in the follow-up, is that you actually see that person and you go to their feed and you find something that you connect with. Oh my gosh, you have a German Shepherd. I grew up with German Shepherds. What a beautiful, beautiful dog. I'm a dog mom. Oh my gosh, like your little boy who's 3 years old, just like, in fact, this was like a message I sent today. I'm like, my heart is like busting like confetti because your little boy is just so cute. I'm about to go move my oldest into his first apartment, so I'm kind of having an emotional week, but I just want to let you know your little boy is so darling. Like, cherish every snuggle. Like, those are the follow-ups, right? It's not always an invite after invite after invite after invite. Before you invite, I also want to like put this out there. I want you guys to operate from a place of gratitude. This was such a great tip from, I think her name was Keisha. I gotta remember. Anyway, she's another top coach, very successful. But she said, you know, if you're struggling with inviting people or connecting with people or talking with people, like take 5 minutes and journal. Why are you grateful for this business? What has it done for your life? And what do you think it will do for that ideal person that you are trying to connect with? Like, just take 5 minutes and write down 3 things that you're just super grateful for about this business. And then get to the invite part, because you're going to be coming from a place of positive energy and gratitude and overflow. But here's my rule of thumb. If they watch my stories, I'm going to invite them. Unless they look like some, like, you know, crazy person, which does happen. If they watch my stories, I'm totally going to invite them. When I invite them, and this is where, like, y'all, I hate scripts. I love scripts, and then I hate scripts, because I feel like if I give you a script, you're going to copy paste and you're going to lose your authentic voice. And so I love scripts from the idea that it gives you an idea of what to say, but I hate scripts because I feel like people use them as a crutch, and they forget about just like how to have a conversation with someone. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't. You also can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So give yourself grace and freedom just to have a conversation. So I will reach out to someone and I'll say, hey, I saw that you were watching my stories. I just wanted to say thanks. I really appreciate the support. I popped over to your page and I noticed that you're a boy mom too. Mine are 19 and 17. I totally love a strong scented candle because I have boys. Like, find a way to add some humor, or like just to connect with them on a real level. And I will tell them, like, I used to work in church ministry, but now I'm a full-time coach. Like, what do you do? And I think that is a magic question. Like, what do you do? And I'll get everything from, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom to, like, I'm a pre-med student. And, you know, like, they'll just tell me exactly, like, what it is they do. And then I can start having a conversation with them and get to know them a little bit. And it's usually, I never let a conversation go more than 3 back and forths. So it might go 2 back and forths, or it might go 3. But on the 3rd back and forth, I'm gonna redirect the conversation, and that's just my personality style. And most of the time, I'm going to invite to the business, but sometimes I invite to the challenge group, and I literally will say, "Hey, like I can't help, but I have to ask: are you open to working on your fitness and earning extra income?" That's the magic question I ask when it comes to the business. Are you open to working on your fitness and earning extra income? That's it. And then I get a yes or a no or a ghost. And I don't care what they say. I just care that I asked the question. And when I invite to the challenge group, I'll say like, hey, I have no idea if this would interest you, but I am getting ready to do a boot camp with busy women who we just want to hold each other accountable and have fun and, you know, get fit and reach our goals. Like, would you like to be a part of that? Would you like more information? Like, you don't have to have some kind of perfect question. Just tell them what you do. And when they say yes, maybe, ask them, well, you know, tell me a little bit about what's working for you and what's not working for you. That'll help me help you better. And that's going to help them or tell you their story. You're going to find out like people have, you know, they might have like a pregnancy problem that, you know, like a big story that they just don't really get to tell a whole lot of people. And you might be that person that they get to tell their bigger story to. Or maybe they've just wrestled with emotional eating, or maybe they've wrestled with like their husband losing a job, or maybe they wrestle with, you know, breast cancer or whatever it is. But like, if you ask someone like, hey, why don't you just tell me a little bit about what's working for you and what's not working for you? What's not working as well as you'd like it to? Now you're finding out what their pain point is, which is really great because now guess what? You're a problem solver. So you're not a salesperson when it comes down to it. Because a lot of people don't want to invite because they don't want to feel salesy. You're a problem solver. You're a matchmaker. So if you ask them, hey, what's not working as well as you'd like it to, that gives you the information you need to say, you know what would absolutely change your life? 2B mindset. Oh my gosh. Like, I get that you hate exercise and you don't want to do a burpee. Like, what about if we focused on something that just was like freedom and food? Exercise was extra credit. Like, would you like more information about that? I really feel like this would change everything for you. That's so much different, right? Because it's relational. And then you can fall in love with inviting people because you're about solving problems. When you hold back because you're worried that you're being salesy, you're making this more about you and less about them. Truly. And it's not about you at all. It's about solving their problem and meeting a need and being a blessing in the world. And that's where you fall in love with the process because like every person's story is so stinking unique. And if you invite faster in that relationship development, then you get to the real meat of like their story. So that's why my rule of thumb is no more than 3 back and forths because a lot of us can get lost in that like back and forth of relationship development. We don't know how to change the conversation to the question that we want to say. It's really easy. All you say is like, hey, I know this is totally out of the blue, but I really love your vibe. Like, would you like to be a part of this like fitness group that I lead? Like, we are jamming our goals. Like, just tell them about your group. I really like your vibe. I think you're amazing. Like, why don't you come be a part of this fitness group? Or are you open to working on your fitness and earning some extra income? Like, get to that invite faster because Andrea said no, but that was like the beginning of our friendship was the no. So the faster you can get to the no, the quicker you can get to the friendship. All right, the last thing, I hear too much and already disqualify them. Working on that. You'll have to like explain that later. The last thing that I just want to leave you with is that like if you don't invite people, because I do know this is a problem where people like They just are what do we call a spammer coach. You just put stuff out there on social media and you hope people are going to reach out to you, and like, I'm not going to invite, so I don't have to worry about it. You guys are it's selfish if you don't invite people. You have such a gift in your hands. It truly is selfish. You are like focusing more on like you and what you might come look at. If I can look like hungry like the wolf, you can certainly send an invite. Seriously. You're not putting yourself on a banner for the world to see in the most embarrassing picture ever. You're just asking them to come to be part of the party, to be a part of your team. And aren't you excited about that? Like, you're awesome. Don't you want them to say yes to you and not yes to somebody else? Like, at the end of the day, if you don't invite, it's just selfish. You're just holding on to something that is the biggest blessing in the world, that has the opportunity to like improve a mom's confidence and improve their marriage and have a ripple effect on their kids. And, you know, I can't even tell you how many stories I have of like women who have come into our challenge groups and then go like apply for a VP presidential role or whatever in their company because their confidence is like out of the world, you know? So what you have is a gift. And I really, truly believe that the way to fall in love with the process of inviting is to stop thinking about it as though you're trying to sell and start realizing that you're there to solve a problem, that you're there to be a blessing. And the sooner you get to the know, the sooner you can get to the work of just creating friends. All right, that's all I got. Any questions? You want to take a picture? All right. Andrew says we got to take a picture. All right, everybody smile. I gotcha. All right, cool. All right, well, I love you guys. Any questions or insights you want to share before we let you go?
I have one.
Okay.
I've noticed the last couple of days that as I'm getting my invites out, I have a handful over the last few days of people who have like 10,000 followers that are following my stories, which seems really cool, but that just scares me. Like, oh, they've already got their gig, like bloggers and stuff. And so then rather than even ask, I just don't, which is sad. But I think, why would they be interested in my thing if they've already got all that? Help?
Well, what do you think?
Well, you know, I obviously think it's silly. That's why I'm asking you.
It's limited belief because you don't think you're worthy of what you're doing. I think it's because you either think you're not worthy of somehow you're comparing yourself to them and you already think that they're up here. And so they're not. They're just human. In my opinion, they're just another human walking this planet, and we can give them a gift. And you never know, like Joy said, if they're following for a reason. Did you say they're following you?
They're following my stories, yeah.
Okay, so invite them. I mean, like, it's a closer to get to the next yes, and you don't know what kind of game changer it can be. Maybe they just lost somebody in their life, and now you're there and you're offering an invitation of a community. That's just a limited mindset, and it's fear. Correct?
True.
That's what I would think.
True.
And I think you also need to think about how your story isn't going to resonate with everyone, but it is going to resonate with some people. So perhaps anybody that is following your story, although they have 10,000 followers, maybe they don't resonate with anybody that they're following, and they do with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think, woohoo, they have 10,000 followers. I'm going to invite them to be on my team so they can spread the word.
That's how it should be.
People, yeah!
That's how it should be.
To be honest, those are a great, I mean, like Joy said, she normally leads now with business, invitations. I mean, that's great. Someone like that with a following typically already has a different open mind than the average Joe, in my opinion.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Yeah. And they,
Yeah.
and you
So can I chime in on that real quick?
Yeah.
So here's kind of what I found from me. Like, I don't know who on here has STEM Social, but I do. And it's been great for me just to have automatic follow, like me following people. So the way sometimes this works is the algorithms are automatically following you. And if that person with 10,000 followers has the STEM social or something like that, then they're showing that they're viewing you. And I have that same mindset. I'm like, holy stuff. Like, how does that person have 10,000 followers? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because they have something like STEM social. So I tapped into that last week and I'm like, I don't give a crap. At this point in time, I'm talking to every freaking teacher because I need to talk to them. And this one lady's like a complete like brand influencer through Target, like it's paid advertising. And I just like, hey, I stumbled across your page. I noticed that we were following each other. What grade do you teach? And lo and behold, that lady messaged me back. And I was like, you actually do read your inbox. So it could be any multitude of things, but it doesn't mean that they won't message you back. And the worst they can say is no or ignore. But the worst or the best that can happen is like, you have someone that's an influencer, you know?
Right.
It's all the story that you attach to it, right? Like
Yeah.
you could say like, why would this person with 10,000 people follow me? And why, what do I have to give them? Or you can tell yourself another story like, holy cow, like they, this person, they could be using STEM social. It doesn't mean that they necessarily have 10,000 people who are like following their stuff every day. And they probably are looking for community just like I am. If they're watching your stories, then they're resonating with who you are. So invite everyone. Unless they look like a really crazy person. And then please.
I've got those too.
please don't bring those people to our team. Just kidding. All right.
I remember Joy saying, don't ever open up Instagram at church, ladies. Don't open it at church. Because those crazy people are following you. You don't know that they're crazy, so you follow them to try to like add value and love on them. And then you open up your Instagram at church, and you're like, "Holy crap! What is on my phone?"
Like the booty picture, like yeah.
Yep, you don't. You don't open up Instagram at church anymore.
That and this Triller, I opened that the other day, and the words that came off of the first song, my children were there, and they said, "What was that?" I said, "Nothing."
Yes. Like literally, I just opened up. This is what my first picture on Instagram is, ladies.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. Like, who is this person? I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to give you a warning on Triller. Don't let that play too long. Just go straight to your business Triller.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Speaking of Triller, some of y'all are tagged and need to get at it. So I expect to see your videos. Y'all have some fun with that. And I love you. Fall in love with just helping people and being a problem solver and authentically you because you are enough. So I love you guys. Bye.